Hello, everyone. Welcome into Yelling from the Couch. I'm Brent Humphreys. He's Gage Berdovich. And we've got a little bit of a different setup here as we're recording tonight. We're going to do the Week 3 NFL Pick'ems. Gage, how we doing here, man? You doing all right?
I'm doing pretty good. Tough week for both of us, but at least your team got the win. Um, Not a good showing for the Steelers overall, but we'll talk about that in a little bit. Overall, doing great. I love the new setup. Riverside's been Riversiding, so why not try out StreamYard? Brent, how you doing?
Doing all right. Like I said before, personally, things are going okay. But sports-wise, I'm kind of down a little bit here, man. I don't know. It's been a rough week, especially Sunday. Not good. I mean, the emotions of, Burrow going out and then Jake Browning coming in and leading them on an exciting game-winning drive.
Yeah.
It was all the emotions in one in that game.
But you know what he kind of reminded me of? He kind of reminded me of a little Jameis Winston out there, just slinging that thing, not caring what happens. Throw some touchdowns, throw some interceptions, and throw for a ton of yards.
Yeah, and why not, right? Because, I mean, they needed to do it. They needed to get some, something going there, and they did. The defense stepped up, played decent again. Not horrible, not great. I mean, you still give up 27 points to Jacksonville, but overall, not bad. Jake Browning, like you said, slinging it all over the place like Jameis, going out and making a great game-winning drive though at the end.
I mean, he started on the 10 with that game-winning drive, so they drove 90 yards down the field to win it. I was watching that. I was like, oh my God, like he's going to do it. Like, I know Brent's all over the place right now with the Burrow injury, but Browning might be the best backup in the NFL.
I believe so, and me and Gordon kind of talked about it a little bit last night on the podcast. People were like, the Bengals need to trade for Kirk Cousins, or the Bengals need to trade for Jameis Winston, or the Bengals, he said Malik Willis, and I'm like, okay, listen. The best option for the Bengals right now at quarterback is Jake Browning because he's already there. He knows the system. He's a decent backup that if you have to go to him. You don't want him, running into the playoffs, but out of the options right now, he gives the Bengals the best shot of winning right now that the Bengals realistically have.
Yeah. And didn't they sign 2 quarterbacks today or yesterday to the practice squad as well?
I don't know, man. Probably. I know Desmond Ridder signed with the Vikings earlier in the week, and it's like, oh yeah, hey, of course he did.
Yeah.
I can't remember. They did sign somebody. I can't remember who it was.
I believe Magic Mike White.
Oh yeah, Mike White.
And Penn State legend Sean Clifford.
Yeah, let's just hope Jake Browning doesn't get hurt at this point then, if that's what our options are. Mike White did have his greatest game against the Bengals a few years back for the Jets, but if that's your options, better hope Browning stays healthy at this point in time. And with that offensive line, the way they've been playing, there's no guarantee of that at all.
Did the Bengals have an emergency quarterback like when Burrow was healthy? No.
They did not. Yeah.
So no wonder why they signed 2 quarterbacks because they're like, oh, we need some protection now.
We need an emergency guy here too. We need a backup and an emergency now.
But I mean, if you're going out there and signing, Sean Clifford, just sign one of us. We'll take the league minimum and just make it all incentive based. And I'll fill the water bottles if I have to.
Yeah, no doubt about it. I mean, it's the same, like you said, if you're signing Sean Clifford, you might as well get any old body out there because it's going to be the same, no doubt. So, as we mentioned there, Joe Burrow is out for 3 months after having surgery on his toe. Gage, I don't know what's going on right now in the NFL, but turf toe is running wild. Like Brock Purdy had turf toe, and he's out 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And then they're like, Burrow's got turf toe. And I'm like, cool, he's out 2 to 5 weeks. And later they're like, nope, psych. He tore a ligament. He's out 3 months. And it's like, what? Turf toe?
Well, isn't this – I could be completely wrong. Isn't this what held him out here in, what was it, 2022?
I don't think it was turf toe, was it?
I feel like it was something similar. And if that is the case, Burrow, put your feet in bubble wrap. And I don't know what you got to do to protect yourself, but stop, because man, your feet in the ground do not mix well.
Gordon was telling me, he's like, so they were talking about Burrow's toe, and he's like, it was actually facing upward, instead of straight ahead. And I'm like, dude, why are we getting graphic on the podcast? I mean, there's no need for that. Nobody wants to hear that.
No, like I have a very visual mind, and my mind, as you're saying that, just goes to probably the most gruesome thing I could imagine. So thanks a lot for that, Gordon, and thanks for relaying that to me. I really appreciate that.
Yeah, so I mean, he was coming with the facts yesterday about it, and it's just like, okay, now let's calm it down. Let's get back to Kentucky football here, okay? All right, so
But the one thing you do have to consider, if it is 3 months, we're only going into week 3 now. There is a chance he comes back by week 15, week 16, maybe week 17. If Jake Browning does enough to sneak Cincinnati into the playoffs, he'll be back for the playoffs. Will he be fully healthy? I don't know, but he'll be back.
I remember looking at the schedule. I think it was the Ravens, the Browns, Cardinals, and Jets, maybe the last 4 weeks of the season. And he would come back for the Ravens game if it was exactly 3 months.
Mm-hmm.
And if Jake Browning can go, say 8-5 in that point in time, or 6-5 the rest of the way, the Bengals will be at 8-5, in pretty decent shape at that point in time.
Yeah,
that's a lot to ask, though. I mean, we're far away from that. We'll talk about the game here after a while that they've got coming up this week. But, yeah, it's not ideal, though. It's not an ideal situation at all.
No, it's not ideal, and especially for the schedule that the Bengals have to endure. You got games against Baltimore. You got games against Pittsburgh. You got another game against Cleveland. We're playing the NFC North as well. So it's like, there's some tough matchups that Browning's going to have to go through and try to win. And there's no real guarantee gimme games.
No, there's none of those on the schedule right now at all with Browning as quarterback. But he did find Jamar Chase quite a bit Sunday, and that's a big thing right there. That you want to find that guy. 14 catches, 100 and whatever yards.
Yeah.
Just throw it up to number 1. If you don't know anything else, just give it to him.
And apparently, when you're down in the red zone, like at the 10-yard line, if they're doubling Jamar Chase, just throw it up to Mitchell Tinsley, and he'll just one-hand that thing and score a touchdown easily.
My guy, Mitchell Tinsley. I was on Mitchell Tinsley early in the preseason, and he comes by with that one-handed grab in the corner over there. Wow.
I know what your excitement was. I called it. Mitchell freaking Tinsley. Let's go.
I'm buying an 82 jersey right now. My guy. So, Gage, last week on the picks, a pretty good week. You went 13-2. I went 12-3. Gordon went 10-5. Right now, me and you are tied for first at 22-8. Gordon is 21-9. The big difference between mine and your picks last week was leverage by the Denver Broncos against the Colts. I had the Broncos. You two had the Colts, and leverage cost it for me. Are you kidding me?
Dude, I was going back and forth in that game because I'm like, I really don't want Daniel Dimes to win this one, but I still want him to because I picked him. And then, I wasn't even watching the game. I see the Bleach Report thing come, and it's like Colts win on special teams flag. I was like, ooh, all right. And then it's leverage. I'm like,
yeah, it's leverage, but was it really leverage? Like, it was kind of questionable at best. That first field goal from 60 was not close.
No.
And you move it up. No. You move it up to the 45, and it's like dead down the middle, and it's like,
yeah,
okay.
But I mean, if you want to talk about special teams blunders, right? Why not go to a certain game that I might have been watching for the most part? Definitely didn't turn it off with 3 minutes to go and did not see that Mason Rudolph came in. Kaleb Johnson, you got to know the rules. You have to know the rules. Even if you don't know the rules, that ball bounces over you. It hits you, but it hit him in the helmet. There's maybe a chance he didn't feel it because those helmets are pretty big. If it just grazes him, probably not going to feel it. You start jogging off the field. If you see everyone running behind you to go get the ball, maybe you should turn around.
Yeah.
Maybe, just maybe, you should turn around.
This ain't college.
Yeah. The one big thing that really irritates me about it is not just Kaleb Johnson. The only Steeler that was in the end zone to recover that football, the guy they just signed, Jabril Peppers. It was Seahawks jerseys all around him, and Peppers is the only one down there in the end zone. Are you the only one that knows the rule? Like, what are we doing?
Hey, your guy, Danny Smith over there, needs to get his boys in line, right? I mean, get them to know the rules.
Talk about a rare special teams blunder, though, for Pittsburgh.
Right. You don't ever hear that from them.
No. And the one hand, I was talking to my dad about this last night. On the one hand, Kaleb Johnson, before this year, has never done a kickoff return. College, high school, anything. So you put this third-round rookie running back, who you're not even really using at running back, supposed to be your Najee Harris type back, and you're not using him, and you put him in kickoff return, he doesn't have speed. So I don't know why you got him back there. He wasn't even the best available running back, in my opinion, when you drafted him. You had the chance to take Cam Scatabo, who I wanted you to take, and you passed up on him. And now you're kind of seeing, does Kaleb Johnson know everything? He's a rookie. I will give him that. But he's being demoted from kickoff returns, what Tomlin said. Who are you going to put back there? Don't know, besides Kenneth Gainwell. And, well, teams have learned, don't kick it to Gainwell, kick it to the rookie.
Yeah, why not? Like the other day, the Jacksonville Jaguars kept kicking it to Samaje Perine on kickoffs. It's like,
yeah.
All right, that's smart. That's smart on their end. I mean, Perine's a good running back and everything, but he's not going to return one back for a touchdown. So, I mean, that's smart on them. So,
although, I mean, you can say that, but who really thinks Antonio Gibson's going to take one back for a touchdown?
Well, Mike Vrabel about beat him down the field on the sidelines. I mean, have you seen Vrabel run that fast even when he played? Like, come on, look at that. He about outrun him all the way down the sideline.
Yeah, it was funny.
Put pads on Vrabel and get him back out there. Like, man, he's ready to go.
Oh, man. And we got Thursday Night Football right now. The Dolphins and the Bills. And I don't know what happened, but I think Tua just threw a pick.
Yep, with 3 minutes left in the game. Yep, they were down 28-21. Or they are down 28-21. Yeah. They just threw a pick. So, Miami trying to come alive a little bit.
Talk about a good game, though. I mean, it wasn't a blowout. Like, I'm pretty sure we could have said, it's going to be a 20-point game with the way Miami's been playing. But I guess division rivals, just could be a close game.
I thought so, too, and I was like, man, Mike McDaniel is probably going to be the first coach fired because they've looked awful the first 2 weeks. I mean, looked a little bit better last week. Yeah. But I was like, man, Buffalo's going to probably come in and pound them at home. And it just hasn't happened. Miami has kept up with them. They tied them a while ago. Buffalo comes back down and scores again, and now they were having a chance to come back down and tie it, and he throws a pick. Probably ends the game right there, but Miami hanging around.
Yeah, barring something spectacular happening, that's definitely the game.
Like Miami getting a pick or something like that. I mean, they did give their first 10 possessions of the season, they did give a score up. So, and of course that was to record-breaking Danny Dimes. So, man, they were up at the 20-yard line too when he throws this pick.
Yeah, it was, man, not a good throw for Tua. Not a good look.
No, not at all. So we'll go on now and we'll get into our next segment here on this podcast, Gage, and we may have a little bit to talk about here, right? So that brings us to...
From turf to tears, it's Injury Fears. Who's sidelined this week in Gage's fantasy sphere?
So, yeah. First 2 weeks of the season, surprisingly, we were clean. We had nobody. I think I might have jinxed myself a little bit by saying we're looking pretty good. Because we have 2 players this week who... one's questionable, and one's definitely not playing. We'll start out with the questionable one. We're going to go to Seattle, go to the running back position, Zach Charbonnet. Let's see here. What do we got? Charbonnet foot was a non-participant at Thursday's practice. He's been held out of practice all week so far due to the foot injury. So it's going to be a key practice day tomorrow. So far he's just questionable. He's not in my starting lineup, though he is projected more points than Travion Henderson.
He is also on my fantasy team, for the record.
We might have to retitle this segment "Who is Injured" on Gage and Brent's fantasy team. But
right.
And then the big hit. Also staying in the running back position, but we're going to go to the NFC North. Minnesota Vikings placing Aaron Jones on IR. Expected to sit out for at least 4 weeks. His return date, I believe, is 4 weeks. So what's that? Week 6, week 7, roughly.
7.
Yeah. Not too sure exactly who that would be against. But let's see. Jones will miss at least 4 games while recovering from his hamstring injury, making his earliest tentative return date week 8 against the Chargers on October 23rd due to the timing of Minnesota's bye in week 6. So Jordan Mason owners, lock in, because if he is available in your fantasy league, he's already been taking a majority of the snaps, especially in the red zone for the team. I am currently looking to see if he is available in my league. Willing to bet he's not, because that would be absolutely my luck. No, he is not. So, positions that I could pick up, if where you stay in the running back tier, the top available running back is Kareem Hunt, projected 9.3. Projected 9.3 through 2 games so far this season. He has 9. The second running back would be Rachaad White, who week 1, not a good game. However, last week, 10 for 65, 2 catches, a touchdown. He might be the one I'm very scared to pick him up. There was one, I want to see if he's still available, out of Jacksonville, though this guy is now questionable. Bashal Tutton?
Yeah, rootin' tootin' over there.
Yeah, that one. 15.4 fantasy points last week.
Yeah, he had a big game.
Yeah, 8 what we got? 8 rushing attempts, 42 yards, 2 catches, 32 yards, and a touchdown.
Yeah.
And he is going against Houston this week. So I'm not too sure if I want to do that one, because we know how good Houston's defense is. We talked about it plenty of times on this podcast.
Yes. We've went in depth with Houston's defense on here.
And my other thing I'm looking at is I have Houston's defense in fantasy.
Why wouldn't you?
Yeah, so I'm not too sure if I want to play with that one. So I think we're just going to be rocking a great running back duo of Travion Henderson and Nick Chubb.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What a duo right there. Maybe a few years back. Well, Travion Henderson was not in the league yet, but yeah.
Well, the only thing I'm looking at is the Steelers' run defense has been awful. So Travion Henderson might have himself a day.
So we're starting to get some players here on this segment. I mean, we've been empty the last couple of weeks, and now it's starting to build. I feel it coming. I feel it coming on. This segment's going to pop for the rest of the season. I already know it.
I am very afraid that this is what's going to happen. If it continues, This background that I have, I might just have to make a Photoshop background of everyone's face that gets hurt throughout the season and just keep adding on to it and see how much room we take up and when do we run out of space. Well,
It's like the little thing that says, it's got like on Facebook a little meme that says "Y'all still them boys," and it's got a picture of the quarterback that beat him, and then the next week it's got a picture of the other quarterback that beat him, and it's like all the way around. It's gonna be y'all injured, and it's gonna have like Aaron Jones over here.
that might be my next project for this show.
Oh man, so that's everybody who's injured on Gage's fantasy team. My actual team had a pretty big injury, which, and yeah, so injuries, man. It's football; it happens. So,
I mean, you want to talk about actual football injuries? Alex Highsmith for us on the defense, questionable for this week with a hamstring, and we just lost an offensive lineman today to a torn ACL
for the season. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's brutal, and we're only in week 2 or week 3 now.
Yeah, we're heading to week 3, and it's a lot of football left to play. So, got a feeling there's going to be a lot more injuries, unfortunately.
Yeah, and just injuries around the league in general. I mean, it's week 3, and there's already how many backup quarterbacks starting?
Too many.
Yeah. I mean, we'll talk about it, but your game is going to be very interesting to watch.
It is. So let's go ahead and let's get started with our picks here. And let's just go ahead and start off first with the Houston Texans travel to Jacksonville to face the Jacksonville Jaguars. 1 o'clock on CBS. Jacksonville is a 1.5-point favorite in this one. Gage, what do you think about this game here?
I am surprised that Jacksonville is the 1.5-point favorite. However, we've seen the Texans offense the first 2 weeks, and CJ Stroud does not look like the same CJ Stroud of his rookie season. We thought last year was just a sophomore slump. This year, it's the junior year slump. Yeah, it's just going to keep on rolling. Talk about Texans defense, very good. Jaguars defense, not that good. Jaguars offense, though, has been spittering and sputtering some life into it. Brian Thomas Jr., not the best of games last week against Cincinnati in a high-scoring game. But the running backs, for whatever reason, Travis Etienne seems to be having a resurgent. We just talked about Tootin. He's also complimenting Etienne very well. I think this is going to be a low-scoring affair. I don't think there's going to be a lot of points scored. I will rule with the favorite, though. Give me Jacksonville in this one. It's at home, so they also have that advantage. Give me the Jaguars and give me the points.
Houston last week took a win and turned it into a loss against Tampa Bay. That Houston team could not get the running game going whatsoever, aside from a Chubb run towards the end of the game for a touchdown. They couldn't get nothing going. C.J. Stroud was the leading rusher for most of the game. He may have ended up leading rusher. I don't remember. But, the defense has been awesome. The first part of that game, you're like, all right, this is going to be a shootout between these two teams. And then everything just settled down completely and, no offense whatsoever for either side in that game. Will Houston start out the season 0-3 after making the playoffs last year? I agree with you. C.J. Stroud does not look like a rookie C.J. Stroud. He looks like second-year C.J. Stroud, which struggled. Now, Nico Collins, I mean, he only had 3 receptions last week. You've got to get that guy more involved, I believe. But you got to start with a run game. You've got to get something going on the ground in this game, in this league, because you're back there one-dimensional, and that's why this offense has struggled the first 2 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Jacksonville on the other side. Does Trevor Lawrence and Liam Cohen even like each other? It sure didn't look like
it. No. Hit him in the chest.
Yeah. Great. I mean, I love seeing, the quarterback and the head coach just, hate each other, for the opposite team. I love seeing that stuff right there. But Cohen has this team kind of fun to watch a little bit. I mean, they're fun to watch on offense, but they haven't really got Brian Thomas Jr. involved yet. Will they get him involved on Sunday? I don't know. But you see why they traded Tank Bigsby away after week 1, right? Because Tootin stepped right in and just took over that spot, no problem at all. I think that Jacksonville's going to win this game as well. I'm with you. I think they win. I think they cover this spread, and Houston starts the season 0-3. You may have a dominant defense, but you can't get nothing going right now on offense. Until you get that running game going, Houston is going to struggle this season to maybe even make the playoffs. And we picked them at the beginning of the year to win this South, but this South is looking better than what we expected the first 2 weeks of the season.
Absolutely.
And I'll go ahead and bring up the other game while I get Gordon's pick here. I was totally slacking on Gordon's pick. So the next game we have the Los Angeles Rams travel to Philly to face the Philadelphia Eagles. 1 o'clock on Fox. Philly is only a 3.5-point favorite at home. Gage, surprised by that? And who you got?
I'm very much surprised by that, considering last year the games that the Eagles went against the Rams, Saquon had himself some huge games. I think he's going to continue that one. I don't think they're going to get rolling in the passing game again. I think A.J. Brown's going to be very non-targeted again, not be a very good fantasy wide receiver, or just a decent wide receiver in general. The one thing I will be watching out for is how many times do the referees penalize the Eagles offensive line for false starts on the tush pushes, because that was a thing that brought up this week. I had never noticed it. I don't know how long they've been doing it. Have they been doing it the whole time? I don't know, but video came out this week of it happening. Refs or NFL sent out a memo saying that it's going to be watched more. We'll see how much that actually holds true. The Rams, they're the Rams. They're nothing special. They're not a high-powered team, but they're also not your bottom-of-the-basement team either. I think the Eagles, defending champions, you got a great run game. They're going to lean on that run game this season in general as well. Give me Philly in this one, and give me the points as well.
So, Philly, like you said, I have never noticed the false start either on that tush push. Andy Reid kind of pointed out at the end of the game, and he said, they kind of got a head start on some of them quarterback sneaks.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're like, we're going to be watching that, calling it a little bit more tighter than we have. Will that change things? Maybe it will. That every other team does not really care much for the tush push because there's only one team that's perfected it. And maybe that's why they've perfected it, because we thought it was Jason Kelce at first. Then he retired, and they still are like almost unstoppable with the tush push. Yeah. Philly, on the other hand, for a team that was Super Bowl champions last year, they have been boring the first 2 weeks of the season. Not fun to watch at all. Hurts doesn't throw the ball a whole lot. They do just enough. Saquon hasn't been, spectacular yet the first 2 weeks of the season, but they do just enough to win the games. And that's what matters in the league, right? Ultimately. Yep. The Rams, on the other hand, they started out pretty good the first 2 weeks. Like you said, they're also nothing spectacular, but they just win games. That first week against Houston, 14-9 or whatever it was. And then, they win last week, and it's just like, I don't know. I'm surprised it's a 3.5-point favorite here because I think Philly's probably going to win by at least a touchdown in this game. I got Philly winning. I think it's going to be low scoring, ugly game, not fun to watch. But give me Philly again. I think that they'll continue to win once again at home. They're going to be hard to beat at home this year.
Yeah.
The next matchup we've got. Oh, before I get to that real quick, I'll go ahead and give Gordon's picks. He had Texans in the first game. Mm-hmm. So he went against us, and he's got the Eagles as well. So we're on the same track on that one. So we'll see. The next matchup, the Cincinnati Bengals travel to Minnesota to face the Minnesota Vikings. 1 o'clock on CBS. Minnesota is a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, backup quarterbacks is the name of this game. What do you think?
Definitely is the name of this game. I am surprised Minnesota is the favorite. I don't know exactly why. Minnesota's without Jordan Addison. They're without Aaron Jones. And they're without their starting quarterback. Like, kind of questioning that. So you look at the Bengals. What are they out? They're out Joe Burrow, obviously. They still got Jamar Chase. They still got T. Higgins. They still got Chase Brown, who's technically been the most inefficient running back so far this season, but they still have him. And who are they going against at quarterback for the Vikings? Good old Carson freaking Wentz. The only quarterback in NFL history to start for 6 teams in 6 straight seasons.
Impressive.
Pretty impressive considering at one point he was playing MVP football for Philadelphia. I don't see how the Bengals lose this one. I might be jinxing them, and if I do, I am sorry in advance. This is not my underdog pick of the week because I'm saving that for later, but I will take the underdog. Give me the Bengals in this one, and obviously with that, they cover.
So right after Burrow got hurt, I was like, okay, who do they have next? So let's look forward to next game just to see, how it's going to be with Browning in there. His first game as starting quarterback. And I see, they've got the Minnesota Vikings. What a perfect time to get the Minnesota Vikings, right?
Mm-hmm.
And J.J. McCarthy has not looked good his first 2 games. Yeah, he had a couple of plays that first game, but overall, not good. I mean, he looks like a rookie out there, lost.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, this is fine. And then they're like, J.J. McCarthy's out. I'm like, oh, boy. I was like, here we go. Now Minnesota's going to bring their backup in. I was like, who is their backup? And it's like Carson Wentz is the backup. And I was like, oh, okay. This ain't bad. This is not bad at all. I like this. I feel good about it. But the Vikings still have a really good defense. They are going to try to confuse Jake Browning. They blitz like 40% of the time. Brian Flores over there. That's a very tough defense to play against in your first game of the season as a backup. Now, I know he said he's been preparing as a starter. He's got T. He's got Chase. You're going to have to use Chase Brown quite a bit in this game to get the ball out quick. Gesicki, I like the Bengals in this one. I don't think Minnesota on that offensive side, other than Justin Jefferson, they don't really have anything right now. Hawkinson hasn't played really well the first couple of weeks of the season. Carson Wentz is not the 2017 Carson Wentz. He's the 2025 Carson Wentz. You give it the Bengals in this one, and, of course, they cover because they're the dogs, the road dogs.
And I do want to say this. At 2:14 this past Sunday, I sent you a message, and all I said was, oh, no, ... And then I get the response, I hate football. Hate everything about it. And I tried to give Browning some credit. I said he looked pretty good in relief. And you said he also threw 3 picks. And Bengals play Vikings, and J.J. McCarthy is out. I don't know who their backup is, but he's probably better than J.J. And then I just respond to Carson Wentz versus Jake Browning is going to be a movie. This is going to be one of those B-rated movies because it's going to be awful.
Yeah, so if we could have done like an emergency podcast during that game, I probably would have freaked out a little bit on this streams here. So it's probably a good thing we just held off until Thursday night, like normal.
Yeah, but I think, for the views, I think it would have been really good.
It definitely would have been something for sure. I'll tell you that. But yeah, it was, I tend to overreact a little bit in the moment. I mean, Browning wasn't bad that game.
No.
So Gordon also has the Bengals winning this game. So clean sweep once again on this one. The next game we've got is the Pittsburgh Steelers traveling to New England to face the Patriots at 1 o'clock on CBS. Pittsburgh is a 1.5-point road favorite. Gage, how do you feel about your Pittsburgh Steelers this Sunday?
Not very freaking confident. That's how I feel. I don't like being the favorite going into this game. The Patriots have won 8 out of the last 9 meetings with the Steelers. The only game that the Steelers did win was, I forget what year it was, but the only thing I remember is 17-10, late in the fourth quarter. Brady's under pressure, throws it up, and Joe Hayden jumps up, intercepts the ball while getting crushed in the ribs and in the back by Gronkowski and Julian Edelman. and he somehow holds on to it, gets his feet in bounds, and then gets right up and celebrates. I'm like, you are a strong dude, because I probably would have laid there for a while.
No doubt.
The last time that these two teams met, I believe we were doing the podcast at the time, and I believe my words were, what are we doing in the middle of the game? Because the Patriots it was Mac Jones or Bailey Zappi, I believe, starting quarterback for them. And for the Steelers, it was good old Mitchell Trubisky. Steelers were favored to win that game, no matter who the starting quarterback was, and they still lost. The defense through the first 2 weeks has not looked good at all. They picked off Darnold twice last week. Jalen Ramsey getting his first pick as a Steeler, which was cool. Darnold also threw for 2 touchdowns. He threw for over 200 yards. The run game, again, just absolutely decimating. There was one point, it was a 3rd and goal from like the 19-yard line or whatever. And they just run the ball, the Seahawks run the ball with Kenneth Walker. And no one touches him, and he gets right into the end zone. 19 yards on 3rd and goal. They were content with taking a field goal. And Kenneth Walker's like, no one's going to touch me? Cool. I'll walk right the freak in. The one stat that has very much interested me this season so far, between the first 2 weeks, teams that run at TJ Watt average 2.3 yards per carry. Teams that run away from TJ Watt average over 6 yards a carry. I think teams are just running away from TJ because it's the smart thing to do. The offense, great in week 1. You put up 30-plus points, and then last week it looks like Kenny Pickett and Matt Canada are running this offense again, and you barely score. Not a good sign at all. I talked about with the Bengals, Chase Brown being the most inefficient running back in the NFL so far. It kind of feels that way for Pittsburgh. The combination of Kenneth Gainwell and Jalen Warren does not work out right now. And I'm really hoping, I know Kaleb Johnson did get demoted, but he needs more touches at his actual position. The guy can be a bulldozer and run some people over. Let's get him these touches. Come on, Tomlin. What are we doing? As far as Aaron Rodgers, threw 2 picks last week. The first one, I can't really blame him because there's no reason for Calvin Austin and Pat Freiermuth to be in the same part of the end zone like that, kind of in a levels concept. I think the ball was intended for Freiermuth, and Austin reached backwards and deflected it up into the arms of the defender. I don't think I can blame Rodgers for that one. And in his second one, you're in crunch time, you're trying to score some points, you have Austin down the seam route, he just overthrows him. So it is what it is. Move on to this week. I don't know. TreVeyon Henderson and Ramondre Stevenson, I think, are going to have a day against the Steelers defense, the way that they're playing. Passing-wise, Keyshawn Boutte had a nice touchdown last week for the Pats, but that was the only catch he had. No receiver. I want to say had over 40 yards for New England, and Drake May still threw, I believe, for 200-plus yards. I think he hit 9 different receivers. So he's spreading the ball out well. The team's doing well. I'm going to do what I should have done last year the entire season. I'm going to go against the Steelers. So this way I either get a win in football or a win on the podcast. Give me the Patriots. It's at home. Give me New England. And obviously with that, they cover.
Whoa. Didn't see that one coming right there. The Patriots last week were led in receiving by Stevenson at 88, which you're right. It wasn't a wide receiver that had over 40 yards. It was the running back. But on the flip side, for Pittsburgh last week, their leading receiver was a running back, Jalen Warren, who had 86 yards receiving. So, I mean, I guess we're just throwing them to the guys out of the backfield in this game, right? I mean, it's got to be that, right? So the stat you mentioned about TJ Watt, are you trying to tell me that people should just run away from TJ Watt and it'll be better for him?
That's the way it seems. For whatever reason, it's working. Gee, I wouldn't know why. It's almost like they have rookies at the other side or something.
Yeah, I would probably run away from TJ Watt myself as well. So, I mean, it sounds like a pretty smart plan, actually. But, yeah, Travion Henderson, he may have a big game coming up this week. Will Aaron Rodgers get back on track? Like, he looked great the first week. The Patriots put up 33 last week against the Dolphins. I mean, a crazy kick return there at the end. Pittsburgh kind of struggled at home. At home, they let Seattle and Sam Darnold come in, and Sam Darnold put up almost 300 against them in the air. DK Metcalf did not have that very good of a game, 20 yards against his old team.
Mm-hmm.
How's this game going to shake out on the road? You've got the Patriots winning and covering because, of course, I mean, hey, they're the underdog. But I'm going to go with Pittsburgh in this one here. I think Pittsburgh wins this game. I think Pittsburgh covers. I think they look more like they did in week 1 than they did in week 2. And, of course, if I'm wrong on this one, then they're going on my Buccaneers list. Well, actually, no, they're not going on my Buccaneers. I've been pretty nice to the Buccaneers so far this year. So I'm going to take the Patriots in this one. I think they win. Or the Patriots. I'm taking Pittsburgh in this one. They win. You took the Patriots. Sorry. Gordon also says he picks the Steelers. So.
But like I said, I'm just going against Pittsburgh. I'm hoping they win, but I'm going to get a win somewhere. It's either going to be on here or on my couch watching the football game at 1:00 Sunday afternoon.
Either on the couch on the pod or on the couch watching the game. Either way, there's going to be a win happening here. So
and a lot of yelling.
A lot of yelling. Oh man, I'll tell you what, that was. Yeah, this past Sunday was definitely yelling from the couch. All right, so the next game we've got coming up, 1:00. The New York Jets travel to Tampa to face the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1:00 on Fox. Tampa Bay is a 6.5-point favorite at home. Former Pittsburgh quarterback Justin Fields is out. Gage, what do you think about this game here?
It talked about backup quarterbacks earlier. Tyrod Taylor. Didn't know he was still in the league. Glad he still has his lungs.
Yes.
Tyrod Taylor starting for the Jets against the Buccaneers. Not a whole lot to say. Buccaneers are a good team, tough defense, and I think the offense is going to get back on track. Baker Mayfield, you still got him, Emeka Egbuka, Mike Evans, Rashad White in the backfield as well. Got his touchdown last week. I don't have much to say. Tyrod's just going to be chucking it up to Garrett Wilson, seeing what happens. Give me the Buccaneers, and 6.5, I think they easily cover.
Yeah, Tampa Bay last week, a gutsy performance from Baker. Like I said, they looked like they were going to go up and down the field, and this is going to be a track meet, And then things kind of settled down. Tampa Bay lost a couple of offensive linemen in that game who are still not going to be available for this game. And once that happened in that game, they kind of got to Baker quite a bit. Baker took some shots back there. He took one where, his looked like his ankle was hurt, and then he got up and he trash talked this guy. And then they come over again. They flips him over the next time running down there when he needed a much-needed first down. I know we like to trash Baker a little bit, but he is a gutsy player out there, and he's got some heart. So I'll give it to him there. Whether we like him or not, former Browns, I guess we could put that in the past. But the Jets, on the other hand, Justin Fields is out. Tyrod Taylor is in. What are we doing here? Tyrod Taylor, he's still playing in the league. You've got all these options as the Jets. I don't even remember the last time Tyrod Taylor got in a ball game. It has been a few years, I believe. I couldn't even tell you what team. Was it Cleveland? Was that the last time he played? I may sound like an idiot right now, but I don't remember him playing a whole lot.
I don't remember either. He might have gotten in a couple games last year if he was in with the Jets.
Yeah, he did. You're right. He was the backup for Aaron Rodgers last year. He did get a few games in there, but yeah, it's not memorable. Not a memorable performance. So I think it's going to be more of the same this time. The Jets just aren't good. That defense hasn't been good this year like everybody thought they were going to be. And I think it continues this week, and Tampa Bay kind of takes advantage of them a little bit here. Bucky Irving, man, had some runs the other night that were just amazing. Like, guys are throwing shoulders into him. He's just bouncing off. You've got to wrap this guy up. He's not going to go down off of that.
No, absolutely.
Yeah, I like Tampa to win this one. I think Tampa covers in this game right here. So give me Tampa Bay. And Gordon, you want to hear Gordon's pick on this one? He sent this to me before Justin Fields got out. He picked the Jets to win this one. He put on here, he said, yes, I picked the Jets to upset the Bucs. Have no idea why, except I don't expect that defense to be that bad 2 weeks in a row.
I wonder if we were to ask him right now if he would change that pick.
Well, he was like, you know what, Tyrod Taylor. He's like, he had some good years. I was like, yeah, he had some good years. I was like, that's been a while.
Tyrod Taylor led, I believe, Buffalo to the playoffs when I was in middle school. That was probably about the extent of his good.
Yeah, that 1 year he was real. I mean, he had a couple years in Buffalo where he was decent, but once the doctor punctured that lung, he hasn't been the same since. No. And who would be, right? Who would be?
Isn't it just crazy though that story changed his career basically?
Yeah, because he was the starting quarterback. He was going to be the starting quarterback. Yep. And then he got that, and he punctured that lung right before the Bengals game in the season opener in 2020. And Justin Herbert took over and never gave it back. No. So the next matchup we got, a 1 o'clock matchup, and it is the Atlanta Falcons traveling to Carolina to face the Carolina Panthers at 1 o'clock on Fox. The Falcons are a 5.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what do you think about this matchup here?
So I feel like the past couple weeks I have talked up Bryce Young, Tedero McMillan, and the entire Panthers team. However, I would just like to say that for the Panthers, at least on offense, Xavier Legette sucks. Yeah. Well, watching this guy, I thought last year, I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to turn into something good. He had 1 catch last week for -2 yards. 3 catches the week before for 10 yards. He has 4 catches for 8 yards so far through 2 weeks. How's this guy still on the team? Cut him. I don't care if who else do you got? Jatavion Sanders. He might be a tight end. Throw him out there, a wide receiver, and just say run it.
Hunter Renfrow,
yeah. He had a good game last week. I'm pretty sure.
2 touchdown catches.
Yeah. If Renfro's the guy you are depending on for touchdowns, you are in trouble. Because, love Renfro. Love him as a player. I think his time has passed. The Panthers have just irritated me. They've made me look like a fool. And they're probably going to do it again this week because I'm trash talking them. And I'm willing to accept defeat on that one. Falcons, Bijan, looking good. Michael Penix, he's been up and down, but what do you expect? He's in his first full season as a starter. And maybe we get a little Kirk Cousins action going on soon. Maybe it's either in-game or maybe he gets traded. Maybe they cut him. But there's been a lot of rumors this week, especially where GMs think that he's done for and he's past his time. And frankly, I've been thinking that for a couple years now, and he's still been on an NFL roster. So what I think does not matter. So that's pretty cool. Panthers suck. Falcons, they're mid. So give me the Falcons, 5.5. I think they cover as well. So give me the Falcons, give me the points.
This game has got sleeper written all over it, and I don't mean like sleeper like watch out for it. It's going to put you to sleep. This game here. This is one of those NFC South matchups, which is like great. Falcons and the Panthers playing again, 1 o'clock on Fox. Tune in. Yeah, that's going to be great. No, last week though the Panthers, McMillan had 100 yards receiving in that game. He had a couple of catches that looked really great.
Mm-hmm.
They were down 27-3 in the third quarter, right? And they come back and they lost 27-22. Had a chance towards the end there. Bryce Young threw for over 300 yards. But I mean, Arizona was already done by that point in time, right? They were just kind of just whatever, playing prevent defense, letting them go down the field. Kind of got a little scary there at the end. Falcons, on the other hand, they beat up on Minnesota. Bijan's still a beast. I don't know about the rest of the Falcons team, though. I mean, Penix, he's played decent. Is he good? Is he okay? Is he decent? What are we doing here? Kirk Cousins on the bench. He's been the rumor of some trades. Some Bengals fans want him to be traded to the Bengals, and I'm just like, did you not realize what he did last year for Atlanta? Like nothing. There's a reason why Penix is the starting quarterback now because of what Kirk Cousins did the first 15 weeks of the season last year. Mm-hmm. That being said, I think Atlanta's the better team in this one. I think that they win. I think that they cover in Charlotte. And Gordon also thinks the Falcons win this game. I'm surprised he didn't go Panthers on this one here, like the Jets a while ago. So our next 1 o'clock matchup, the Indianapolis Colts and one of Gage's favorite quarterbacks in the league, Danny Dimes, travels to Nashville to face the Tennessee Titans at 1 o'clock on CBS. Indy is a 4.5-point favorite. Gage, Danny Dimes out here making history. Do you like him this week as well?
Well, like you said, making history. First 2 weeks of the NFL season, the Colts have not punted, not one bit. I right now would love to be the punter for the Indianapolis Colts. I know Pat McAfee would love to re-sign with the Indianapolis Colts right now to be their punter. Just sit on the sideline, collect a check, and go hold some balls for the field goal kicker. Because, wow, Daniel Jones has been on fire, and I'm afraid to say that. They're going against a team who, Cam Ward, first touchdown of his NFL career last week, broke all the rules to get this touchdown. In the pocket, you roll out to your left, you spin around, you run to the other side, and you're like, F it. He's down there somewhere. It throws cross-body across the field while falling down. And I couldn't even tell you who caught it. But the receiver catches the ball, and it's like, that just happened? Okay. It's not going to happen again this week, though. I'm going to keep rolling with the Indianapolis Colts. Danny Dimes keeps it going. Jonathan Taylor keeps it going. He hit the fastest ball carrier speed, I believe, since the year 2020 last week with 23.12 miles per hour or something like that. Give me the Colts. Give me the points. Daniel Jones, don't you depress me this week.
Yeah, the touchdown pass was to Elick Manor, rookie.
Again, I don't know who they threw it to, so I'm cool with keeping it that way.
And it's funny you mentioned that play because they showed that highlight there, and I forgot I was watching it with somebody, and I was like, that is a horrible throw. When he does a touchdown, they're like, it was a touchdown. I was like, that is a horrible throw. I was like, you're going the opposite side, and then you throw cross-body back over to the other side of the field in the end zone. You're just asking for trouble. Cam Ward, are you trying to do your best Will Levis here? I mean, what are we doing here? I mean, you got a touchdown out of it. He threw for like 175 yards. Nothing great. Indy, on the other hand, Indy should have lost last week. Indy should have got beat to Denver. Denver should have beat them. But, leverage and stuff and all that good stuff. But anyways, like you said, Indy just doesn't punt. Danny Dimes has had a resurgence in the first 2 weeks of the season. I think it continues this week. They're going to Tennessee, to Nashville to face the Titans. I think that they have a big game. Jonathan Taylor's played pretty good. But I think that the Colts win this game, and I think that the Colts cover. I think that they win by 10+ in this game. And they're going to be in the driver's seat to win the NFC South or the AFC South with Daniel Jones. Man.
He might be in the running for comeback player of the year.
Yeah, come back from what?
Come back from sucking,
yes,
cut, and not playing with Minnesota.
That is one way to win the comeback player of the year. Come back from sucking. All right, so boy, do not clip that part out of what I just said. Please do not clip that out. We may edit that out. We'll see. Let's just go ahead and skip it. Gordon has the Colts winning this week as well. So, man, we're sweeping all these just about. I mean, there's been only a couple really so far. Our next to last 1 o'clock matchup, the Las Vegas Raiders travel to Washington to face the Washington Commanders. 1 o'clock on Fox. Washington is a 3.5-point favorite. Gage, what do we think about this one? Geno Smith looked terrible Monday night. What do we think here?
You will talk about a guy who, throughout his entire NFL career, has been pretty good on accuracy. Career so far, looking at right now, this does include the first 2 games this year, he's at a 64.8 completion percentage rate. His 5 years in Seattle, he had a career best 68.5 total. This is coming from a man who now has a 1-to-4 touchdown to interception ratio. He completed just 55% of passes last week, 180 yards, 3 picks. His first game, 70% completion rate, 362 yards, a touchdown, a pick. From the very first pass that Geno threw against the Chargers, I knew it was going to be off because he just did not look good. He was throwing hospital balls. He was making passes that you weren't used to seeing Geno make. In the run game, Ashton Genty, he's no longer playing a community college on ESPN3 at 2 o'clock in the morning. So he's even admitted it's hard playing in the NFL.
No kidding.
Really? You're telling me. There's a clip going around right now watching him in pass protection. He's not exactly the best pass protector. And if you want to know what I'm talking about, just go on Instagram or TikTok. A lot of people are posting it around and comparing him to Cam Scatabo in Pass Pro. Receiving game, it's been hit or miss. Jacoby Myers is there. He's always a reliable target for Geno. Thank you, Jacoby Myers. You let me hit my parlay, my 3-legger this past week against the Chargers, and it was boosted. So thank you. I appreciate it. So I was very scared because it was not hit before I went to bed, and I thought the game was put to bed. So to wake up to an extra few dollars in my account was pretty nice. The Commanders, Jaden Daniels, can never count the kid out. Terry McLaurin, though, not a good game last week. Not good at all. And when it comes to defense, I'm not a fan of either of these defenses.
Nope.
The only player that I'm a real fan of for each team, Commanders, you got Bobby Wagner. You know he's going to be wearing the green dot. He's going to be controlling that entire defense. For the Raiders, they got Landon Roberts, former Steeler linebacker who I wish the Steelers had kept. He made some big tackles, and I believe he also wears the green dot for the Raiders defense. Outside of that, there's nothing special. Marshawn Lattimore got absolutely cooked last week in the Commanders defense. Man, this one's a hard choosing. I'm going to go with the Commanders, though. I'm going to take the favorite. Give me the Commanders, and I do think they cover, but I think it's going to be a close game.
There is a little player on the Raiders that's pretty good defensively, Max Crosby. He's a decent guy over there on defense. But, yeah.
Just talking about guys we don't really know or hear a lot out of.
Right, yeah. Yeah, you're going to hear Max Crosby every game you're at. Brock Bowers didn't really have much of a big game. He had 5 catches, but he only had 38 yards. So they really kind of kept him in check, which the Chargers have a really good defense. That's what Harbaugh wants to play, and that's what he kind of did. They kind of just imposed their will on defense the other day against the Raiders. The Raiders come out in first week, and I believe we both probably picked the Patriots in week 1, I think, in that game, and they come out and they surprised us. Last week they kind of got knocked back down to reality a little bit. Which team is going to show up this week against the Commanders? We'll see. Week 1 or week 2. If it's week 1, yeah. The Commanders, on the other hand, they got beat down pretty good last week. I mean, not the scoring wise, but I mean that defense for Green Bay was all over Jaden Daniels and the rest of the Commanders.
Yeah.
Jaden Daniels, I believe he's questionable for this week. They said Marcus Mariota said that he'll be good to go if Daniels can't go. I would think that, Daniels will probably be ready to go. I mean, they played on Thursday night. They get an extra couple of days rest for him to play. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make my pick as if Daniels is playing. And you talk about a team that doesn't have much of a running game either. They lost Austin Eckler last week as well. Croskery Merritt, I think, is their running back. They got Chris Rodriguez.
Mm-hmm.
Jaden Daniels is probably going to lead the team in rushing, and that's not good if your quarterback's leading the team in rushing. Just ask the Texans the other night when they lost. But for this week purposes, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to pick the Commanders to win this one. But I think that the Raiders will keep it close, whether Daniels plays or not. I think the Raiders cover. Commanders win. Give me the Commanders. Gordon picks the Raiders in this one. He thinks that – I think he's rolling off the fact that Daniels probably isn't playing. Maybe he's not playing, but I think he's questionable.
And talk about, they made the trade here a little bit ago to get rid of Brian Robinson. I bet they wish they had Brian Robinson now.
I would think so as well, especially once Eckler went out last week and he's got torn Achilles. He's out for the season. Yeah. Brian Robinson Jr. would be a perfect fit for this team right now. Funny how things work out, isn't it?
Yeah, if only they had the ability to have a player like B-Rob or something.
Yeah, it's not like that they had this guy before the season, had him all the way up until the season started, and then got rid of him or anything like that,
Yeah, no, they would never do such a thing.
No. So our next matchup that we have on here is the last 1 o'clock matchup. The Green Bay Packers. Gordon's Green Bay Packers travel to Cleveland to face the Cleveland Browns. 1 o'clock on Fox. Green Bay is a 7.5-point favorite on the road. Gage, what do we think here?
I hate the Browns. We all know that. We all hate the Browns on this show, right?
Yes.
Packers-wise, the only big thing that I'm worried about now today, Tucker Kraft. Tweaked a knee during practice.
Said he's good to go.
He's questionable.
He said he's good to go.
He said he's good to go, but we'll see about that.
Football players.
Yeah. As far as the Browns are concerned, you still got Myles Garrett, which, hey, that's cool. That's awesome. You still got Myles Garrett. You got Joe Flacco. You feel confident? Because I don't. I don't feel confident at all in this team. But you go back to the Packers. Sorry, I thought you were going to say something.
I was just going to say that Dylan Gabriel also got a little run last week in the game. So are we going to get a little Dylan Gabriel time this week?
I don't know. I think if it's a blowout, sure, absolutely. Why not just throw him in there? But Flacco's still the starter, so.
I don't put Dylan Gabriel in early against this defense, though. I wouldn't do that. Just let Flacco take that.
Yeah, let Flacco take the sack from Micah Parsons. Packers hand, Jordan Love has been pretty good so far. First couple weeks. I think he's going to continue. 7.5 is the line. I think that's close. I think the Packers win it, obviously, and I think they cover. I think it'll be about a 10-point game.
I'm like with you on that totally. I think that it's going to be a 10-point game in this one here. Green Bay goes to Cleveland, and they dominate them there pretty much. Quinshon Judkins come in last week for Cleveland. If anybody's interested there, he got 61 yards. Hey, cool. But I think that, Parsons is just going to be in the backfield and meeting Joe Flacco quite a bit Sunday. And that's where I was like, I probably wouldn't even – Gabriel just sit out till next week, or something like that. But I don't think it's going to be a blowout as much. That Packers defense is really good. That offense, they're pretty decent too. Mm-hmm. Love's played decent. Josh Jacobs over on that side. Tucker Kraft has been like the leading receiver and has been awesome. If he plays, which he said he's good to go, but who knows? I like Green Bay to win this one. I'm with you. I think they win by about 10. Gordon, if you want to guess, who would you think he has? He's got
Cleveland.
He says Packers, of course. So I'm like, man, you know, you got to feel pretty good. Your team is like looking like Super Bowl contenders. And I said, and my team cannot keep a healthy quarterback.
No, but like we said, you got a good quarterback in the backup.
The next matchup we're going to head to is the 405 slate. And this one should be a good one right here. Mm-hmm. The Denver Broncos travel to L.A. to face the L.A. Chargers. On CBS, L.A. is a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, what do we think about this AFC West matchup here?
Excuse me. Broncos, Chargers, Justin Herbert has been pretty good. He's been maybe a top 5 quarterback so far. He's been the guy that everyone's been hoping he would be, but that's a lot to do with people like Quentin Johnston, able to catch a ball now.
Hey, old Stonehands catching balls now.
Yeah, it's kind of incredible to see what can happen when you actually can catch a football. The Broncos, as it may have been, or may not have been mentioned on this show, kind of got screwed last week on a little leverage call or something like that. I don't really recall what it was. But, yeah, I'm a Chargers fan in this game. I think they're going to keep on firing. The running game, not totally there. So that's my one big concern with this team. But the passing game, I think, is really good. And I think it's going to be too good for the Broncos to overcome. Give me the Chargers. Give me the points.
I almost said Bo Picks already. Bo Nix so far this season. I kind of said at the beginning of the season, I think he'll have a sophomore surge, but it's looking more like a sophomore slump. Mm-hmm. He's not looked good. Him and Sean Payton were arguing on the sideline this past Sunday as well during that game. I don't know. These quarterbacks, man, they're not getting along with their head coaches, and I'm here for it. But Denver defense kind of let them down a little bit last week. But then again, they were going against the great Danny Dimes. So, I mean, I give them a little bit of a pass there. The Chargers, on the other hand, they're winning games. They beat the Chiefs the week before. Last week they beat the Raiders. Really didn't have to do a whole lot in that game offensively. And they really didn't. Justin Herbert led the team in rushing with 31 yards. That's really not a good sign because Harbaugh really wants to run the ball more and play defense. But if your quarterback is your leading rusher, you might have some things to work on there rushing-wise. But I think the Chargers also win this game. It's at home, which, I mean, Denver may have more fans there than the Chargers do because do we really know any LA Chargers fans? I mean, there's not many. There's not many at all. But give me the Chargers. I think the Chargers cover, and Gordon also has the Chargers in this one. The next 405 matchup, the New Orleans Saints travel to Seattle to face the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is a 7.5-point favorite at home. Gage, how do we feel about Spencer Rattler and the New Orleans Saints?
I tell you what, trash talk them all you want. I sent you a meme this past week. I will not say who it was compared to, but it had Spencer Rattler's stats through the first 2 games. 421 passing yards, 3 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions. For a guy that none of us expected to perform well and to have Tyler Shuck in there by the end of the season, he's been performing. He's been performing very well. Seattle Seahawks coming off a very sad win. We'll just leave it at that. Don't know who it was against, and we won't get into that because I feel like that's already been discussed, but that's fine. Sam Darnold, though, the one big knock on his game, he is susceptible to turning the ball over. He showed it last week. He showed it his entire career, even in Minnesota last year when he was very good. I think, teams double Jackson Smith and Jigba. You make other guys get involved, like a Torrey Horton, who scored his first NFL touchdown last week on the opening drive in Pittsburgh. What? Who said that? And then you shut down Kenneth Gainwell. Zach Charbonnet is questionable, so there's a good chance he won't play, so you may not have to worry about him. The Saints, you still got Rashid Shaheed, and Rattler's been using Shaheed quite often, which is very nice, even though he sits on my bench on fantasy. And then you got Alvin Kamara, who's still going to be Alvin Kamara. Chris Olave as well in there. This might be a biased pick. This might be a hatred pick after last week. But this will be the game where we use the underdog pick of the week. Give me the New Orleans Saints to go into Seattle and take down those birds. 7.5-point underdogs. Doesn't matter. Give me the Saints. Spencer Rattler. It is your time, my friend.
Whoa. The underdog pick of the week, you're using the Saints going to the Legion of Boom up there and the 12th man and taking out the Seattle Seahawks. I didn't expect that one to come. Spencer Rattler last week, like you said, he's looked decent. We've picked on him and picked on him and picked on him, and for good reason. Mm-hmm. You did send a comparison to a quarterback, which we'll go over his game in a little bit, and then we can reveal. But Alvin Kamara had a great game on the ground last week. He almost had 100 yards. They finally got Juwan Johnson, involved a little bit. Chris Olave led the team. Your boy Shaheed got a touchdown. Saints didn't look too bad last week against the Niners. Seattle, on the other hand, they beat a certain team on the road, a big road win for them. Sam Darnold looked pretty decent. Like you said, he could still turn the ball over a little bit. Also, I mean, did Pittsburgh blitz him any this past Sunday?
They did a little bit, and a couple times that they did, he was able to hit Jackson Smith and Jigba on a quick slant and a quick in route. So really didn't matter. So
what you're saying is he's learned a little bit from last year, because once they blitzed him last year, he was like freaking out.
Yeah.
So I was like, that should be the key for it. But, I mean, maybe he's improving a little bit. I think Seattle wins this game, and I think Seattle wins by a touchdown. Give me a Saints cover, barely, but give me a Seattle win at home. And Gordon also has the Seattle Seahawks winning this one. So
you guys aren't riding with me for the underdog pick of the week.
No, we can't go with you on that underdog pick of the week there. So it's not happening on that one. The next matchup, 4:25 on Fox. The Arizona Cardinals face the San Francisco 49ers. San Francisco's a 2.5-point favorite. Gage, NFC West matchup here. Mac Jones, Kyler Murray. What are we thinking?
I feel like last week when we were talking about the Niners game against the Saints, we kind of made fun of Mac Jones a little bit. What's he do? He goes out, completes 66% of his passes, 279 yards, 3 touchdowns against a formidably awful Saints defense, who I'm really hoping steps it up this week. So we got Mac Jones, Kyler Murray, and I talked about it last week. Arguably the best tight end in the league is in Arizona with Trey McBride. Now, once the Cardinals scored, 27 points last week, they stopped using him. You almost let the Panthers get back into it. Hello, use your people. Marvin Harrison Jr., we're still, it's his week. It's his week. We always say it. It's his week. The 49ers, you got not a lot to work with. You got Mac Jones back there. 279 passing yards, but I feel like 80 or 90 of those were checkdowns to Christian McCaffrey, because he, again, was a heavy part of this offense. San Francisco, 2.5-point favorite. As much as I like the Cardinals, I got to go with the favorite. It's in San Francisco. Mac Jones, great game last week. He might go back to what he normally does, but I'm more poised to say that Kyler Murray will return to normal form. So give me the Niners and give me the points on this one.
So San Francisco last week, Mac Jones stepped in, had a decent game. Like you said, a lot of checkdowns and stuff. There's a theme going on with the league right here, and it's running backs not being able to get rushing yards. McCaffrey led the team with 55. Come on, guys. We're not even getting to 80 around here a lot of times. I mean, Alvin Kamara had a 99, but there's quarterbacks leading the teams in rushing right now. The running back game right now has got to step it up. I don't know if it will this Sunday or not. The Cardinals, on the other hand, like you said, they got off to a 27-3 lead. and kind of just let their foot off the gas. Kyler Murray, can somebody get this man a helmet that's going to fit? He looks like a toddler out there running away from a parent about to whoop him, And the helmet is just like, it's huge, man. Like, can we do something with that? I like Arizona to pull off the upset with Kyler Murray and his huge helmet this Sunday in San Francisco. Give me the Cardinals to go. I guess they'll go 3-0 after this, right?
Oh yeah, they would be.
Give me the Cardinals to go 3-0 and to get a pretty good jump out here in the AFC West. Gordon also is going to roll with you and B for San Francisco. So if there's a leverage play on this one, I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be upset.
Oh, I don't know why.
The last 425 matchup of the game everybody wants to see, the game of the week on Fox, the Dallas Cowboys travel to Chicago to face the Chicago Bears. Dallas is a 1.5-point favorite. Gage, what do you think about this?
Well, with the Cowboys, Aubrey, the kicker, might be Megatron. He might be a robot because he made just a casual 64-yarder last week to send the game into overtime. And a shootout against the Giants where both teams looked phenomenal. Luckily, CeeDee Lamb on the fantasy team. I'm pretty sure you said you had him as well, so he worked out pretty well for both of us. Not as good as a different receiver, but we'll talk about him a little bit later. Yeah, and I said earlier about comparing Spencer Rattler to a certain quarterback. That quarterback might be, for the Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams. 417 passing yards so far, compared to Spencer Rattler, 421. 3 touchdowns compared to 3 touchdowns. And 1 interception compared to 0 interceptions. A 57.7 quarterback rating compared to a 57.6. Caleb Williams, first-round pick. Spencer Rattler, not a first-round pick. And I saw something you were doing there a little bit. I'm not too sure what you were trying to hint at there, that maybe Caleb's nails or something might be holding him back from throwing the football effectively good and just being an overall good quarterback. Is it Caleb or is it the Bears? He might just be cursed with the Bears, just like how Justin Fields might be cursed with the Jets. Don't really know. But I expect the Cowboys offense, especially to do what they did last week, just come out firing on all cylinders, get the run game going with Javonte, get the passing game going with CeeDee and Dak. And I think the Cowboys will win this pretty handedly. I'm surprised it's a 1.5 spread. Give me the Cowboys, and I am absolutely hammering the points.
So you said, could it be Caleb? Could it be the Bears? Well, let's look at it this way. Keenan Allen goes to the Bears for a season. Not good. Goes back to the Chargers. Looks like Keenan Allen once again.
Yeah.
So I think it might be the Bears. I don't know. They got thumped last week by the Lions, 52-21. That was kind of a statement game, I believe, for Dan Campbell the week before when the Packers shut him down. And then, hey, maybe it was your offensive coordinator. And he's like, yeah, well, maybe we'll beat down my offensive coordinator here and prove you all wrong a little bit. So the Cowboys last week had the most exciting game in the NFL in week 2. I will say it, them and the Giants, old Moonball Wilson over there, Dak Prescott just trading blows back and forth. Brandon Aubrey with a 64-yard field goal to send that thing into overtime. 19 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and they get it into range. Just get it just a little bit past the 50 and here in his range. And that's what they did. Kicked it. Gordon said it would have been good for 75. I can't argue with that. The Cowboys, Javonte Williams. We have kind of mocked Javonte Williams on this podcast here a little bit. In the first 2 weeks, he has shut us up.
Yeah.
Played pretty well. 97 rushing yards last week against a pretty good front for the New York Giants. Maybe the Cowboys got a pretty good offense here. I mean, if they had an edge rusher or somebody like that could sack the quarterback and get after the quarterback a little bit, I mean, like, that would probably help them out pretty good. I don't know where they could get a guy like that or if they would ever be able to get a guy like that. But they don't have him. Kenny Clark, I believe, got a sack last week. So, hey, there's that. I like Dallas to win this one in Chicago as well. Give me the Cowboys, and, of course, the Cowboys will cover this one. Gordon, yeah.
Excuse me. Go ahead.
Gordon has the Cowgirls, as he puts on here.
You talk about the Cowboys potentially with an edge rusher. I feel like if they traded like 2 first-round draft picks and maybe throw in Kenny Clark, because I think it would work, trade them to Green Bay and get Micah Parsons. I think that would be a trade to help this organization.
You know what? That sounds silly, Gage. You know what I'm saying? You're trying to put that trade in on Madden, and they're going to say that that's not going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but as we know, Madden and real life are not the same, and that sometimes trades just don't equal out in real life and in the video game to the point to where it looks at you and it's like, what are you trying to – are you dumb? Like, what's going on?
But you know what's weird, though, about that whole thing? Like, they didn't pay Parsons, but ever since then they're paying offensive linemen. They paid Deron Bland. They're giving these contracts out to everybody else. It's kind of like Jerry Jones, like, yeah, I could have paid Micah, but I didn't want to.
Kind of a big middle finger up to him and saying, how you feel now?
Yeah. So, speaking of the Cowboys game last week, for whatever reason, the Sunday night game this week, the Kansas City Chiefs travel to Jersey to face the New York Giants, 8:20 on NBC. Kansas City's a 6.5-point favorite. Kansas City is 0-2 on the season. Gage, can Kansas City get their first win of the season on the road?
It depends what version of the Giants team shows up. If last week's Giants shows up, the Chiefs move to 0-3. If week 1 Giants shows up, the Chiefs get their first win of the season. Russell Wilson with arguably probably the best game of his career last week against the Cowboys. Throwing, 450 yards?
Yeah.
I don't even know how many touchdowns. 3, 4, maybe 5. Who knows at this point. And 1 costly interception. But let's be honest, that interception came at a point to where the game should not have gone to overtime. That interception should not have existed. Brandon Aubrey is not human, but the Giants were doing what they had done all game. Throw that moon ball up, and either Malik Neighbors or who's the other one?
Wandale Robinson, Kentucky Wildcat.
Yeah, Wandale or Malik Neighbors is going to come down with it. Russ just threw it up, and I don't think his receiver knew that it was coming his way. Because if you watch the replay, he doesn't keep running. He stops and then realizes, oh, no, the ball's coming to me. So was it on Russ? I can't blame it all on Russ on that one. The Chiefs dropping to 0-2 for the first time in the Mahomes era, losing the Super Bowl rematch thanks to a costly drop by Travis Kelce that turned into an interception. Is Kelce washed? He proposed, got a different type of ring this offseason, and now not playing the Kelce football that we know. I mean, he catches that, it's a touchdown, and it's a completely different game. Instead, comes right out of his hands. Interception, bada bing, bada boom, that's the game. The Chiefs' offense, weapon-wise, there's not a lot to go off of. Running backs, Isaiah Pacheco, Kareem Hunt, have not been effective. The wide receiver room, not effective at all. And Travis Kelce is the top target, but he's been very not normal to start out the season. I already used the underdog pick of the week, so I don't want to use another one. So I am going to go with the Chiefs, but I'm going to take the Giants to cover. I think it's going to be a close game, and I think it's going to be a low-scoring game.
Yeah, last week, like we mentioned, one of the more entertaining games of the week. We talked about what the Cowboys did in that game, and now it's time to talk about the Giants. You mentioned 450 yards passing for Russell Wilson. Maybe his best game in his career. I know he had a lot of passing yards last year against Cincinnati in that first meeting that they had. Boy, that was horrible for one of us. But Wandale and Malik Neighbors, over 300 some yards receiving between the two of them. 17 catches. They've got weapons out there. Cam Scatterbo had a decent game out there as well. All offense, though, in this game. Would you go to Jackson Dart right now? Would he have been a better option the other day than Russell Wilson was? I don't think so.
No.
I think eventually they're probably going to go Jackson Dart, but if Russell Wilson keeps playing like that, ride with Russ, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So the Chiefs fall to the Eagles in a game 20-17, and it wasn't as close as what the final score was. It was 20-10 most of the time. They got a late touchdown. The Eagles put it away with the tush push, maybe false start push. I don't know. Kelsey's not the same as he has been. He's knocking Xavier Worthy out. As you know, there's a conspiracy going around on this podcast by one of these hosts that maybe there was a reason why he took him out. He didn't play very good last week, but he's had like 5 straight games where he scored a touchdown in prime time. Mm-hmm. Will that happen again Sunday? Probably so. But I'm going to go here with this one, and I'm going with the Chiefs. They're going to win their first game of the season. I was going to do it. I was going to pull the trigger on that, but I couldn't do it. I think the Chiefs win this game, but I'm with you here. I think that the Giants cover. Maybe 2017 in favor of the Chiefs this go-round.
Ooh.
Gordon's got the Chiefs as well in this one.
He's not picking the underdog.
No, he went underdog earlier. He had Jets, and he went a little off the board on a few of them.
He had the Jets because he thought Justin Fields was playing.
He won't admit it, but that's what it was. So it leads us to our last game of Week 3, and that is Monday Night Football. The Detroit Lions travel to Baltimore to face the Baltimore Ravens on ABC and ESPN. Baltimore is a 4.5-point favorite at home. Gage, what do we think about this one?
I tell you what, the Lions they were the Lions of last year, this past week against Ben Johnson and the Bears. This stat line should prove it all. 9 catches, 115 yards, and 3 freaking touchdowns, and some great celebrations to go along with it. That was the Amon-Ra St. Brown stat line. Lamar Jackson and the Ravens last week, not as much rushing as we all would have expected. Lamar completing 65% of passes, 225 yards, 4 touchdowns. I believe if I saw correctly, he had 2 rushing attempts for like 12 yards, which is not what we expect from Lamar at all. And then you go to Derrick Henry, 11 attempts for 23 yards, a 2.1 average against the Cleveland front. I don't know what it is about the Ravens whenever they play a division rival and cannot get the run game going. Then they go out of the division, and it's like, oh, we have a run game. All right, cool. The Lions, the defense is what scares me. I don't know how they'll be able to contain Henry or the speed of Lamar. But the Lions, I think, are going to just throw it all out there as well on offense. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. I think Amon-Ra is going to get it going. As far as winning, I think the Ravens drop this game. Not an underdog pick of the week because it's not a huge spread. 4.5, but it's not a huge one. Give me the Lions in this game. But I am very excited to watch it. And I think it's going to be 30-plus points for both teams. So give me the Lions and obviously give me the points.
I don't know if this is a Ravens hate pick here or whatnot, but I'm also going to go with the Lions in this one. I think the Lions cover because they're the underdog in this one. The Lions looked really good last week. The week before, they didn't look very good against Green Bay. But Green Bay's defense, I think, is pretty elite this season, especially since getting Micah Parsons. Yeah. I don't think Baltimore's is that elite, though. I mean, look at week 1 and the meltdown that they had. As you said, the running game wasn't much last week. They beat Cleveland down, but they couldn't get a running game going. Seems to be a theme here with this week, everything we've talked about with the running game. Not much running game going on. Well, Gibbs had 94 yards last week for the Lions. Jamison Williams had over 100 yards receiving as well to go along with Amon-Ra's over 100 yards. Jared Goff threw for 334, 5 touchdowns, no picks, looking like the Lions of old. I look for them to come out this week. I think it's going to be a high-scoring, high-flying game. But Baltimore loses on Monday night once again to fall to 1-2 on the season. And Lions win. Gordon is going with the Ravens. Now, look, the reason why he's probably going with the Ravens, the Lions are in the Packers division. Looks better if the Lions lose. No, it ain't happening, Gordon. Go Lions.
Ooh, Lions. Wow. He couldn't just make us happy with the pick. Make us think you actually care about our teams or something.
Yeah, come on. Be better, Gordon. Come on now. No, but that's our picks for week 2. Week 3. Look at this. We're already in week 3. That's our picks for week 3. Gage, what game are you looking most forward to besides Pittsburgh? And you might not even be looking forward to that because I'm not really looking forward to the Bengals game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. That's going to be a lot of heartburn, a lot of yelling. My neighbors might come over and knock on the door, tell me to turn the TV down, tell me to shut up. And you know what? I probably won't blame them. Game I'm excited for, the game we just talked about, Ravens-Lions. Like I said, I expect it to be high scoring, 30-plus points for both teams, maybe talking in the 40s for both. Don't really know. But, yeah, I'll go with that game.
Yeah, I'm going to go with that game as well. That's the one that it's on Monday night. Monday night sometimes has a good game, sometimes hit and miss, Sunday night, I don't know what they're thinking on Sunday night. I don't know. I think it'll be better, though, than what we're kind of giving it, we're not giving it as much credit as what I think it could be. I think it could be an entertaining game, especially if that last week's Giants come out and play. Yeah. But, I'm going Lions-Ravens for that one. So that's the game I'm most looking forward to as well.
And, hey, I'm also looking forward to the Saints picking up their first win and my underdog pick also coming true again.
We can all dream. Everybody here can have a dream on this. And, some people pick the Jets. Some people pick the Saints. Others stay safe and pick the Lions as their underdog pick. So, hey, we'll see how it all shakes out.
Some people don't even give a real underdog pick of the week. Oh, I don't know who that would be on this show.
You wait. Next week, I'm going to be like Tyrod Taylor. Gordon was right, and I'm rolling with him. Well, Gage, you got anything else to add on the rest of the show here? Week 3 and new setting, new setup. Kind of like it. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, excited to move on forward with it. For those of us not watching the video version, you can't see everything that we got going on, so you have no idea we're in a new setup. Yeah. But if you want to check it out, head over to YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell if you feel like it, and let us flood your algorithm with all of our football content that we have on the YouTubes.
Yeah, and if you want to see all these graphics that we got on here now, hey, we've got a ticker at the bottom of this thing. Check us out on YouTube. And if not, it's cool. You can still listen to us on Spotify, Apple, iHeart, Amazon, anywhere you get your podcasts, as it says on the ticker right on the screen right now. You can see that if you're on YouTube. But if not, it's still cool. So that'll do it for us this week in week 3, and I'm ready for some football, even though it's
Yeah, not looking forward to it, but we'll get through it, and we'll be back next week for week 4.
Yeah, and we'll see if we could still stay pretty close, which we should be. We had a lot of same picks again this week, but there's a few that could make a difference, that can make or break us. We'll see how it shakes out. I'm
just looking forward to going 15-0 this week. Here we go.
Like I said, we can all dream. And that's all it'll be, is a dream. And we'll see you all next week. Later.